Regal Lance on scene. Alright guys, I need you to move as quickly as you can down to the docks. Try to eliminate any enemy forces you run into along the way. As we've closed in on Port Turtledove, riots have broken out all over the city. Oligopolmart has responded with an iron fist, apparently hoping to stop us here and now because we're just a stone's throw away from Dodson City.
Jordan, are we in the right spot? This looks pretty rural out here.
Affirmative. We've got a group of civilians trying to escape the fighting through a shallow fishing cove. Unfortunately, it looks like Oligopolmart has mistaken the movement of a large group for something else, and they're closing in on it. They're firing on civilian vehicles, and we need to intercept.
Ah, it looks like Oligopolmart forces have had their leash removed. Yes, I am so jealous.
It's general pandemonium in the city proper. Planet Riley has special forces mixed in with the rioters, and they're instigating.
Oh, so this is our fault.
Not exactly. Tito, what you got on the scope? Well, basically, senor, ECMs. Something's screwing up my radar. Alright, Roger. Regal Lance, keep an eye out for anything that might be disrupting communications. Also be aware that there should be heavy assault bots in the area.
I've got a squad of nightshades flying in overhead. Anything we ought to be worried about?
For you guys? No way, senor. Those things are basically expensive flying paperweights. But they do carry ECM suites, so that's probably where my radar jamming is coming from. If you could blow them up, I'd have eyes on everything again.
Where does Oligopolmart get these planes from? Yes, I thought we blew up their airports.
Well, those are VTOL capable, senor, so they probably came from an aircraft carrier somewhere out in the ocean. Aside from blinding us, they can't do a whole lot, though. They can't climb, they can't maneuver, they're not very fast, they have short range, the canopy is terribly designed so they can't see anything, they have zero payload, their weapons are useless, they're prone to overheating. Basically, they're just a huge waste of money.
Well, I got all of them but one who stayed out of range. How do these planes even get built in the first place?
Well, I hear the guy who's in charge of the avionics branch of Oligopolmart is really friendly and really good at marketing.
Looks like we weren't wrong about the assault bots. I've got a Novacat at range. What's the point of bringing these heavy units out to deal with the civilian riot?
Knock down walls, knock down buildings. Plus, their heavy armor makes them all but impervious to shoulder-mounted weapons, so they can walk through an infantry ambush without any trouble at all. Aside from that, I wouldn't be shocked to find that they're armed with napalm.
Getting just a little cynical there, Jordan. I wish they were armed with napalm. Yes, then we wouldn't be shot by all these particle cannons.
I wish for a happy middle ground. No, as long as I'm wishing, I wish for better than a happy middle ground. I wish the enemy were armed with get well soon cards, and flowers, and kittens, and that everyone was a clown, and it doesn't matter. Never mind, ignore me.
You are entitled to your opinions, yes.
Actually, the entire squad should be better defended against laser weapons at this point. After Ray's little scuffle out in the swamp, I got concerned by the fact that a particle cannon nearly tore her apart. We've reduced some of your weapons loadouts and added a bunch of armor. You should retain the same threat potential, but at somewhat shorter range. Hey senor, looks like you took care of that ECM problem. I'm showing 2 heavy bots, probably close enough for you to see them on radar by now. Also a bunch of patrol boats and... I don't know, I'm getting something weird in the waters. Can you give us a description of what you're seeing? It looks like a pair of destroyers sailing towards the cove, senor, which is crazy if true. I guess we saw those nightshades, so there must be a carrier fleet nearby. If we've got 2 destroyers inbound just casually like this, then yeah, that's probably a fleet. Still, if they're coming into the cove, that might work to our advantage. Do you know if the water out there is shallow enough for Regal Lance to tread through? Jordan, I can check on that, but I have to seriously advise against sending Regal Lance into the ocean to fight with the pair of destroyers.
I gotta admit, I'm feeling a little bit apprehensive about where you're going with this too, Jordan.
Is the water shallow enough? Come on, guys, it's gonna be just like when we took those barges in the river. Survey maps show that yes, it is shallow enough for them to walk into the water, but if they walk into a ditch and they've got damage on their vehicles, then they'll turn around and they'll walk out of the ditch. If Oligopolmart is gonna risk their destroyers, they are setting us up with a prime opportunity to get some torpedo practice. I don't like the sound of a carrier fleet near our area of operations. And I don't think that Oligopolmart is anticipating that Regal Lance will march into the water and blow up their ships.
Jordan, I like the bravado, and I appreciate what this might do for us, but my bot's taken a bit of damage, and I don't know how well I can deal with a battleship.
They're not battleships, they're destroyers. They're typically designed to handle submarines and aircraft. You guys will have a low profile, and you're armed with enough weapons to put the fear in those things. I know this is not a very conventional approach, but I have faith in you, and that's why I think it's gonna work.
Well, I have faith in leprechauns and unicorns, and yet I never got my pot of gold. Yes. Well, if we're doing it, we're doing it.
Hey, that's the spirit.
Very easy to be optimistic from the safety and comfort of your chair, Jordan. Yes.
Trust me, guys, nothing good is gonna happen to any of us if we lose you. I wouldn't send you after this if it wasn't important. Hey guys, I've got kind of an interesting development. It looks like tensions are escalating between the civilians trying to evacuate and the Coast Guard is firing on the docks. Not exactly sure what they hope to accomplish, but if you splash a few targets over there, the civilians will probably be really thankful.
What do you say, Jordan? Should we fire on the Coast Guard?
They are technically Oligopolmart military, and they're likely gonna fire on you. Weapons free.
Can they even threaten us, really?
They're armed with light autocannons, senor, which could punch little holes in your armor. Normally that wouldn't be much of a threat, but you're trying to go in the water and you want to be as airtight as possible, so it is kind of an issue.
This whole thing just feels like kind of a mess.
It's always been the mess, yes? Life is always a mess. But on the bright side, at least these people will no longer be the Oligopol slaves. Yes.
I just wonder sometimes what makes a whole planet turn upside down like this.
Probably not enough fiber. Really screws up your regularity, you know.
Are you being serious? That's not what I meant at all.
Well, not to sound too jaded, Sydney, but what are you expecting besides philosophical platitudes?
Nothing, I guess. I'm sorry. I just thought it was maybe worthy of consideration from our future queen.
Well, consider it considered. As we prepare to march a land-based assault force into the waters to attack a pair of destroyers, one of the big things on my mind will be, why did this happen?
I don't know. Maybe consider this like a practice run for when the newspapers start asking you the same questions.
Alright, senor. Looks like those destroyers have entered the cove now, so it's you or them. They're not firing anything, so I'm not sure what their intentions are. They must not know where you are, because they've got long-range guided missiles.
I've got a visual confirmation on the first one. Peyton, you go ahead and take the first shot since you've got the longest range weapons. I'll close in behind you, and Sydney, you move on in. We are as the stealthy crocodiles. Yes. Little does our prey realize they walk directly into an ambush. Here we go. Too stupid and reckless to have planned for us.
Make it quick, guys. Remember, those things are capable of launching torpedoes.
Can they track us with those?
It depends on the type. Certainly wake-tracking torpedoes could find you, but it's best not to find out.
So far, they seem to just be firing missile salvos overhead.
One target sunk. Aww, poor lonely remaining destroyer. Are you confused? Surprise! We are the crocodiles! Yes. Uh-oh, looks like they're getting a little closer with their shots. Target down.
I'm not sure if that was a stroke of luck or pure genius. Hey, credit where it's due, Regal Lance has got a lot of tenacity. And it looks like our civilians are off into open waters.
Man, I bet all that was a scary little performance to sit through.
Well, this was good, guys. We'll find that carrier fleet, figure out what defenses it has left, and we'll take it out. After that, we'll get our act together and move to take back Dodson City. They reacted a little bit behind step for Port Turtledove, but I bet they're gonna have Dodson City covered real well. I'd expect martial law and to find the whole place heavily defended. You're almost home, Ray. How do you feel?
Nervous.
Well, don't worry. We'll set up a good plan. Anyway, for now, just hang out and we'll swing by to pick you up here in about 5 minutes.